Very much for coming in, Mr. Del Missier. You have resigned.
Here's the man who fixed the Libor rate at Barclays Bank. Jerry Del Missier had been accused of doing it of his own volition, misunderstanding a conversation between the Bank of England and the head of Barclays. But did he think he was a rogue trader? Not in the slightest.
Well, I took the action on the basis of the phone call that I'd had with Mr. Diamond. The Bank of England was getting pressure from Whitehall around Barclays, the health of Barclays, as a result of Libor rates, that we should get our Libor rates down.
This puts his evidence directly at odds with that of Bob Diamond from Barclays and Paul Tucker of the Bank of England, both of whom said no such instruction had been given. And did he think he was acting illegally?
Is it an illegal activity? Come on, answer it.
It's not quite like that.
Well, it's not a yes or no answer,
really?
Mr. Ruffley. And
really?
That was how things were in 2008, said Mr. Del Missier. The banks were collapsing. In the end, his argument was that in times of crisis, rules don't count for much. If you think all this is complicated, it's worth bearing in mind that another 12 or so banks may be implicated in the Libor scandal. Add to that, JP Morgan's derivatives trading losses are now said to total almost $6 billion. And add to that reports that the G20 is investigating whether banks and hedge funds could have manipulated the price of oil in exactly the same way as the interest rate. It just seems to go on and on. Next up were the watchdogs from the Financial Services Authority, often accused of having a bark, but very little bite. They released emails suggesting that over time they had gathered lots of evidence of Barclays constructing complicated and aggressive financial schemes, but their protests were generally rebutted.
It is a problem with the culture and the leadership of the whole institution.
That is what we were beginning to think, that there was a cultural tendency to be always on one side always to be pushing the limits.
The longer this goes on, the worse it gets for Barclays' reputation. Yet finding out the truth of exactly how much the regulators knew or what they were prepared to do about it remains very, very hard. Laurence, Al Jazeera, London.